Welcome, Wildcat fans. I'm Cindy McCarthy, and I'm broadcasting live from Springville, where the Wildcats are taking on the Springville Orioles in the semifinals of Class 1A Volleyball Region 7. And before I talk any further about volleyball, I want to give a shout out to our sole sponsor, Heartland Bank. Heartland Bank is a proud supporter of Central City Wildcat sports. At Heartland Bank, we recognize more than ever the need to support local customers and organizations in our communities. As your community bank, we're here for you. Hey, welcome everybody. This is an exciting time. Wildcats have been victorious their last two outings against Lone Tree and Highland, and that has put us in now here to, I think it's the semifinals, I can never remember, or maybe the quarterfinals of the Region 7 volleyball tournament here, and winner tonight continues on for one more game to play to go to state, and the loser will season will come to an end. So a lot on the line tonight. Coming into tonight's game, Wildcats are 20-12, and Springville is 35-3. So we're gonna have our hands full tonight, but the Wildcats have played Springville a couple different times in some tournaments earlier this year and have had some tough battles and have pushed the Orioles to 3 games. So you never know what'll happen. That's why we play these games. Obviously Springville's favored, but we play these because it needs to be played out. So anyway, just kind of quick, if you've been listening, you kind of know the stat leaders for the Wildcats. Again, kills, we have Bailey Weber Jr., 289, and I think she set the record for the most kills in the season. The last game was that last Wednesday against Highland. So she's coming into tonight with 289 kills, and then we have Coletta Wade with 236 kills. And also Allie Fritcher Sr., 182 kills. So those are our 3 big offensive weapons that we have. As far as defensively with blocks, Bailey Weber is leading with, Macy Lupkis, the freshman, has 27 blocks, and then Bailey Weber's got 22. So those are our 2 defensive leaders. And then serving-wise, again, leading the team in ace serves is currently, it's a tight battle. We've got Coletta Wade has jumped up. She's got 36 ace serves. Then there's freshman Avery Wise with 34. Senior Cami Ellis with 33. And then you can throw in junior Bailey Weber with 30. So quite a few ace serves there. We'll take that. As far as serving percentages, as far as efficiency goes, coming in to tonight's game is still Cami Ellis at a 96.6%. And then it looks like Belle Whitson's at 95.6. And Bailey Weber's at 95.4. So we've got some pretty good servers there. Hopefully we can take advantage of those serving efficiencies and keep the ball in play and make the Orioles earn everything that they get tonight. Some names that you'll hear probably for the Orioles, as far as kills, they are led by Kennedy Breitfelder, and she's got 251 kills. And then right behind her is senior Lily Clark with 191. And then you've got senior Molly Stamp with 183 also. So those are their 3 top hitters. And then on defense, blocks, we're going to be looking at Jacoby Rowan with 65 blocks. She's got 23 solo blocks and 42 assists. So that's pretty incredible. Then Kennedy Breitfelder's got 36 blocks. She's got 11 solo blocks and 25 assists. So obviously they do a great job of blocking at the net. They've got a little height advantage on us. Um, Rowan Jacoby is 6'1". Lily Clark is 6 foot. So those two are going to be blockers that we're going to have to get around there and be aware of. So, and that's kind of the defense there for the Orioles. And then on their serving, it looks like they've got Ashlyn Zaruba with 48 ace serves, Nia Howard with 46 ace serves, and Hannah March with 40 ace serves. So they've got 3 outstanding serves, and then you could throw in Molly Stamp, another senior, with 39 ace serves. So they do a good job of serving as well. So this is going to be kind of a battle because I feel like the Wildcats do a pretty good job of serving. Ashlyn Zaruba's at a 97.6% serving efficiency, so that's pretty incredible. And Molly Stamp's at 97. Kennedy Breitfelder's at 99.3, so they've got some really good servers. So we're probably not going to get much in bad serves. So the Wildcats know defensively that we just need to be prepared, and that every serve is going to be there, and just be prepared to make the pass and make the play. So this is going to be a good matchup, like I mentioned. The Wildcats, again, have been pretty competitive with Springville, and they're going to have to be on their A game tonight. And Springville's going to have a couple errors, maybe a couple breakdowns, and the Wildcats are going to have to be able to take advantage of that. So we got a pretty decent crowd here. Got the Central City student section sitting right in front of me. So hopefully it doesn't get too rowdy. Right now we've got about 2 minutes here before the starting lineups, though. Springville's out there getting their last warm-ups in, and then it will be starting lineups, and we'll have volleyball. So Wildcats have a good crowd rolling in. Springville's got a pretty good crowd. Like I mentioned, I've got the student section for the Central City in front of me. Across the way is the student section for Springville. Hopefully it doesn't get too rowdy. Hopefully the Wildcats are just last against Highland. The Wildcats were favored, and they came out a little tight, and they gave up that first game. And I was talking to couple of volleyball players, and it was like, no, now nobody expects you to win. You know, Springville's only been beaten 3 times. Actually, one of them was just in the conference championship. They got beat in the conference championship, and so by Lisbon. So they are coming off of a loss there. So hopefully, you never know what'll happen. So anyway, we got about 30 seconds left here, and we'll see here, like I said, starting lineups are going to be coming up. Springville will be in their black uniforms with orange stripes down the side, orange numbers, predominantly black shorts. And the Wildcats are in their black uniforms with red stripes down the side with red numbers. Similar, but not exactly the same. So they're getting ready here for the starting lineups. So Ava Warrington is going to be starting for the Wildcats. And then Hannah March for the Orioles.
Number 7, Bailey Weber.
Bailey Weber will be a starter for the Wildcats.
Number 7, Nia Howard.
Nia Howard for the Orioles.
For the Wildcats, number 10, Macy Lupkus.
Macy Lupkus for the Wildcats.
Number 17, Molly Stamp.
And Molly Stamp for the Orioles.
13, Allie Fritcher.
Allie Fritcher's in the starting lineup for the Wildcats.
21,
Kennedy Breitfelder for the Orioles.
Number 14, Coletta
Coletta
Wade.
Wade for the Wildcats. Rowan Jacoby for the Orioles. Belle Whitson, the setter for the Wildcats. And Lily Clark for the Orioles. The libero for the Wildcats will be Cammie Ellis. And for the Orioles, it will be Ashlyn Zaruba for the libero. I'm going to take a break here for the national anthem.
Assisted by Megan Hall and Sabrina Borman. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your caps for the singing of the national anthem by the members of the Springville High School Choir.
All right, national anthem is out of the way, and we are ready for some volleyball.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you or your child are missing a ring, please come to the scores table and describe it to me. You can have it back.
All right, so they're looking over things out there and checking the lineups, and we are going to be ready to play. I'm not sure who is serving here. So again, tonight's winner will play Wednesday at West Liberty. Tentatively, that site could change depending on who wins and probably kind of a distance thing, but we'll wait and talk about that a little more here, hopefully, as we get ready to start playing. It looks like Springville is going to start with the serve. Nia Howard's going to go back and get things underway. And we are off, and Nia Howard goes to Fritcher, who goes to Whitson, who right away they come to Bailey Weber, and they say that is a kill. So great start for the Wildcats. Bailey Weber hits around the middle blocker, Jacoby, and gets the kill for the Wildcats, and Coletta Wade's going to go back and is going to serve for the Wildcats. And there's Zaruba to Howard. She goes back to Stamp, played up by the Wildcats. It's just going to be tipped over by Ellis. Howard tips it deep back in the corner. Wildcats kind of got sucked up, and instead of setting it, Howard goes deep and gets the point, and the side out. So it'll come back over to the Orioles, and it is now 1-1. And Stamp is going to go back to serve, and she goes at Wade to Whitson. They go outside, and there's just a tip over by, I'm not sure who tipped that over. To be honest, I couldn't see. I was blocked. I think maybe Bailey Weber just tipped it over, or else Allie Fritcher. And we're able to catch the Springville out of position. So the tips have been what it is about tonight. And Avery Wise, the freshman, comes in and serves it into the net. And that goes back over now to the Orioles. It's 2-2. And Zaruba is going to serve. And she goes at Wade, and Whitson goes back set to Weber. Weber tips it, but the Orioles are there. They're going to go outside to Breitfelder, played up by the Wildcats. We're going to come back with Fritcher, and she took a little bit off of that hit, and the blockers went up, and she took a little bit off and just kind of dinked it over, and it just trickled over the net and down for a point. So it's going back and forth here. Wildcats 3-2, and that was Bailey Weber with the serve. They're going outside, and there's a great block by Warrington, and I'm not sure who else was over there, but there's a block, and Wildcats will get the point. So we've got Weber. Nice serve, goes to Zaruba, to Howard. They're going outside, and Breitfelder just has to tip it over, so the Wildcats are coming back with Allie Fritcher, and there's going to be a kill by Allie. Goes off of Zaruba's arms. And it's 5-2, Wildcats are up. Bailey Weber will serve again. They go at, and there's a quick hit there in the middle by Clark, and the Wildcats are getting there, ready for it, and then there's a miss hit. And Wildcats are going to have, there's going to be a side out to the Orioles on that miss hit by the Wildcats. Hannah March is going to go back and serve for the Orioles. She goes at Ellis, gets it up to Whitson, and Whitson's going to just have Allie Fritcher there, and she just tipped it, and the blocks were there. I think that was Breitfelder and Clark, and they were there, but the ball dropped on Springville's side, so it's 6-3. Wildcats are up, and Allie Fritcher's going to go back and serve. They go with Zaruba, and they go to Howard, and they go outside with Breitfelder, and played up by Ellis. And the Wildcats are going to come back, and they're going to say Breitfelder was in the net. And 7-3 for the Wildcats. Wildcats are doing a great job of attacking and taking advantage of some errors by Springville. There's a nice serve, and that's going to be an ace. That goes right off of Zaruba and goes out of bounds. Howard's not able to do anything with it. That makes it 8-3, Wildcats up. And Allie Fritcher will serve again. Fritcher goes at Zaruba. This time she goes to Howard. They go to Breitfelder. And this time Breitfelder is able to get the kill. Goes off of Cammie Ellis's arms and out of bounds. So it's 4-8, Wildcats up. And Breitfelder's going to go back and serve for the Orioles. Wildcats have come out and started the way they need to start, so let's see if they can't keep it up, put some pressure on the Orioles. There's going to be a bad pass, but it's going to be free-balled over by the Wildcats. They were able to keep it in play. Howard's going to go quick to Clark in the middle, and it goes off the block and out. The block just a little late there, and Orioles are going to get a point, so it's 5-8. And Orioles serving with Breitfelder. Let's go to Bailey to, oh, there's a nice hit by Coletta Wade. Bailey to Whitson and out to Wade. Wade pounds it. and finds a hole. So there's a kill for Coletta, and it's 9-5. Subbing in is Macy Lupkis, out is Avery Weiss, and Belle Whitson's going to go back and serve. 9-5, Wildcats up. We're in game one. There's a tough pass, and they called it something on the Wildcats. I'm not. They must have said. I think Ava Warrington was in the net, and so that's going to be a point for the Orioles. Clark's going to go back and serve. Wildcats are going to come back with Macy Lupkis looking strong at the net. She pounded that one, and that's going to be 10-6. Wildcats up, and Cammie Ellis is going to go back and serve for the Wildcats. Wildcats off to a great start. Let's see if they can keep this up here, get a little more separation. Cammie Ellis, one of the better servers, as I've said, the efficiency-wise, and she does her jump serve and hits it into the net. Not what we want in a game like this. So that's 7-10, and Nia Howard's going to serve for the Orioles. And then Nia Howard comes right back, one of their better servers, and serves it into the net. And so we traded some bad serves. Let's see if the Wildcats can't take advantage. Coletta Wade back to serve again for the Wildcats. 7-11. Zaruba's having a tough time. It's going to be free balled over. Fritcher's there. Whitson's going to go back out to Fritcher. Nice. Nice hit. She cuts it cross court where the blockers couldn't do anything with it. And good job, Wildcats. 7-12. Coletta Wade, again, back serving for the Wildcats. And there's a bad serve. This isn't what we want. Wildcats have to take advantage when they're up. They can't give points to the Orioles. So it's 8-12. And it's going to be Stamp serving. She goes to Weber, to Whitson, and goes outside to Fritcher. And Fritcher just tipped it and it just hit the line and missed the line, and it went out. So it's 9-12, and we've got Stamp serving for the Orioles. She's going to go at Ellis, gets it up to Whitson. Whitson's going to go with a back row attack with Weber, and it's popped up by Zaruba. Great play. And downballed here by Fritcher. Jacoby's going to set it for March. And they had a hit, and initially they didn't call the touch, but then they said the Wildcats touched it and it went out. So it's going to be a point, Springville. So it's 10-12. And Molly Stamp with the serve, and there's Weber to Whitson. Whitson's going to go to Fritcher, and Fritcher tries to tip again. Howard's there, and Bailey Weber tried to kill it on the bad pass, but she just jumped too soon and missed the ball. So now it's 11-12. And Stamp's going to go to Weber, and nice hustle play by the Wildcats to keep it alive. And somebody was in the net. I think they're going to say Allie Fritcher got caught in the net. And so just like that, it's 12-12. And what advantage the Wildcats have is gone now. So now we've got our work cut out for us. And they're Stamped to Weber. It's going to go to Whitson. We're going outside, and now the blocking is going. There's Jacoby and Breitfelder there with the block, and that gives the Orioles their first lead of the game, 13-12. And when I have the chance here, I'm going to go ahead and talk about our sponsor. Heartland Bank is here to provide the kind of services that keep community in banking. That means working with local businesses to provide funding to help them grow and giving guidance and support when you're ready to purchase your first home. We're here for you, Heartland Bank. All right, so the Wildcats kind of had an advantage there, and then unfortunately a serving error gave the ball back over here to the Orioles, and they have taken advantage of that and now have captured the lead, and it's 13-12. And we've got, again, Molly Stamp serving for the Orioles. We are in game 1. And there's Weber's going to go to Whitson. They're coming back to Weber. And out of the timeout, we got ourselves organized, and we come back and we get the side out. Nice set and nice hit by Weber. And we've got Avery Wise checking in here to serve. And she goes at Zaruba. They go to Howard, who goes outside to Breitfelder, but the Wildcats block it, keep it alive, come back. Whoa, nice hit by Allie Fritcher. This time they were anticipating her going cross court, and she goes down the line, pounds it. And Wildcats will take that, and it's now 14-13. And we've got, again, Avery Weiss, freshman, going at Zaruba. And it's just kind of a down ball there, kind of a Wildcats kind of standing around. Misplay there by the Orioles, but they're able to make something out of nothing. And it's 14-14. And we've got Zaruba back serving. She's going to go at Ellis, and it's going to be down balled by Allie Fritcher. And Clark got her hands on it, but couldn't do anything with it, and the ball drops. So there's a side out for the Wildcats. 14-15, Wildcats up by 1. We're in game 1. And Bailey Weber stamp, and then they set Clark, and Wildcats are there. And they try to go deep, but Stamp's back there. We go outside to March, and Hannah March with the kill goes off of Bailey Weber's arms, and we're tied at 15. So 15-15. Hannah March will go back to serve. And there's going to be a point Wildcats. Allie Fritcher with the tip there. And it's 16-15, Wildcats up. And Allie will go back and serve. Nice serve by Allie, goes at March. Howard's going to back set it, and it's just going to be free balled over there by Breitfelder. And the Wildcats are going to come back with a kill attempt by Whitson, but nothing there. Orioles aren't able to do anything. They tip it back over, but then now here's Coletta Wade with the hit, but it's played up by the Orioles, and they're just going to tip it over. And again, kind of just fell asleep, just kind of a tip, and we weren't able to play that back up. I'm not sure if we couldn't read it or what happened there, but anyway, just a tip, and it drops in front of Fritcher. And so it's going to be a side out and go back over to the Orioles, 16-16. And Breitfelder's going to be serving. And Coletta Wade with the kill attempt. It's played up by the Orioles. And Wildcats come back with it. And there's Zaruba's going to set it to Howard. And the Wildcats tried to keep it in play, but it went out. And that's going to be a point Orioles. Breitfelder serving, and it's 17-16. Orioles up. There's Weber. They're going to go outside to Wade. Wade gets it through the blocks and off right between the blocks. They had Clark and Howard over there. And Coletta Wade goes through the blocks and off of March's hands. And Wildcats get the point, 17-17. Macy Lupkus is checking in. Avery Wise is going out. And we've got Belle Whitson going back to serve for the Wildcats. They go at Zaruba. They're going to go outside to Stamp. And the Wildcats are going to come back with Wade. It's blocked, but Fritcher's there, so we're going to get another attempt. And Wade's going to try it again. This time she tips it over. March is there. And they try to go cross court. Weber plays it. They punch it over, and the Orioles are going to come back with Stamp, but there's Weber, and downballed by Wade. March is going to play it up. Howard then free-balled over by Stamp. Fritcher's there. Whitson's going to back set it to Lupkus. Lupkus is going to tip it over, and they're going to say that was 2 hits. And that's when you just need to try to at least downball or hit it instead of playing all this tipping game. So pretty good rally right there by both teams. A lot of scrappy play, but the Orioles are going to get that point, and it's 18-17. And There's Macy Lupkis trying to tip it again, and it hit. I'm not sure the officials are going to talk to each other. They gave the point to Springville. I thought they just said that Macy hit it and it hit the antenna. And I'm not sure if one official called it deader or called it one way and one called the other. They're talking to the captains. And it's going to be a point. I'm not sure what they called. But it's point Springville. And Coach Clark's asking for an explanation, and she gets that. And so it's 19-17. We're in game one, and we've got Lily Clark serving. And there's Weber, goes to Whitson. Whitson's going to go in the middle to Wade, and kept alive by the Orioles. Downballed back from back row by Clark, and the Wildcats on some of the ones that you don't think the Wildcats are going to make a play on, they do, and then on the ones where they should make a play, they don't. And so it's 20-17, and Coach Clark's going to call a timeout and kind of talk about maybe just getting stuck flat-footed and not being ready to move and make some plays on some of the balls that we should. So at Heartland Bank, the strength of our bank lies in the relationships that give meaning to our work. At all times, we remain focused on what we do best, operating as a dependable community bank and delivering on our personal service commitment. Go Central City Wildcats. All right, so Wildcats are down 20-17. We've got to get a stop right here, and we've got to try to work our way back into this. We've been caught flat-footed for whatever reason a few times in the back row, just on some free balls, non-hitting situations, and so we'll see what we can do here, if we can get that rectified and take advantage and try to turn those into some kill attempts ourselves. So we've got Lily Clark serving. It's 20-17, Wildcats down game one. And there's Wade. She's going to get it to Whitson. Whitson's coming back to Wade, but right there is Jacoby and Stamp, and I'm really not sure that you're going to be able to hit out of the middle when Jacoby's in the middle. I feel like we've been able to hit around her and get some kills if we've went outside of her, but if it's in the middle, it's going to be tough to do. So there's a point, 21-17, game one. Clark serving again. Whitson's going to go this time outside to Wade. There's the tip, and there's a great play by Clark in the back row, and Clark just kind of stuck her hand out there in her arm, and the ball just popped up their way instead of going off into the crowd, and the Wildcats aren't able to make that play. 22-17. And there's Weber. She's going to go. Whitson's going to go this time middle, and Macy Lupkis trying to go around that block. And again, I just don't think we can hit out of the middle when you've got Jacoby right there. We need to try something maybe on that weak side. Clark with the serve. She's going to Wade. Whitson's going to go back row to Bailey Weber. Howard pops it up. They're going to go back to Howard, and they're going to say that's 4 hits. Yeah, Howard's ball didn't go over the net, and that was 4 hits, so that's the side out the Wildcats need. It's 23-18. Wildcats don't have a lot of room for error. Cami Ellis has to put some serves here together, and we'll see what happens. There's the Ruben. We're going to go outside to Stamp, but there was Lupkis, and again, I'm not sure that went over, but anyway, play on Lupkis, and Whitson just tips it over, and now you put Jacoby in the middle with the attempt, and Wildcats played that up, and that time, again, we got outside, and if we can get outside, then we can do something, and Wade got it through Jacoby and the outside blocker there, and Wildcats get a point, so it's 23-19. And there's another, there's an ace serve by Cami Ellis. Nice, that's what the Wildcats needed, 23-20. And Springville's gonna take a timeout. So Wildcats on a little bit of a run. And we'll give a shout out to Next Bank. Tell your friends, family, and coworkers about Heartland Bank, and when they open a checking account with us, you'll both receive a special thank you gift. Referring online or on your mobile device is easy. Heartland Bank, a proud supporter of Central City Wildcat sports. And again, we're really appreciate Next Bank. I'm used to saying Next Bank, I apologize. Heartland Bank and all that they do for us. So we have 23-20, Cammie Ellis is serving. We're in game one. We're in game one. Wildcats serving. Cammie Ellis. And just coming off an ace, and there's another good serve. Wildcats are going to get a little bit of an attack, and Coletta Wade kind of, again, we were sucked into the middle, and Jacoby was right there, and Coletta was trying to do something, and Coach Clark saying, go outside, you got to go outside. So 24-20. And Nia Howard hits it into the net. That's two serving errors on Nia Howard tonight. That probably hasn't happened in a while, but we'll take it. So it's 21-24. Wildcats need to make some things happen right here. Coletta Wade, and there's an ace by Coletta Wade, just what the Wildcats needed. 24-22. A couple more aces like that would be fantastic. Let's see what Coletta can do. So we're 24-22, game one. Coletta Wade serving for the Wildcats. And there's to Zaruba, gets it up to Howard. They're gonna go outside to March. There's a hitting error. March's hitting error goes out, and it's 23-24. Wildcats need this point to get this game extended here. So let's see if Coletta Wade can put some pressure on. And there's a nice serve. They go at Stamp. Howard's gonna go back to Stamp. And there's Ellis, gets it to Whitson. We're gonna go, oh, and they call a hitting error on Whitson. Wow, that takes some, wow. To me, that's a tough call at that situation. So that just gave Springville game one there. No, hadn't called that all game against Whitson, and then they call it on that. So you hate to see the way that game end that way. That had to been blatant, and I didn't think it was that blatant. So anyway, Orioles take game one, 23-25. All right, so we've got a 3-minute break here while the teams kind of get themselves organized. Coaches get the lineups. Wildcats got off to a fantastic start and then ran into got one rotation where we had a serving error, and we were up by like five points, and we got into a rotation, and we just weren't able to work our way out of that, and that allowed the Orioles to get back in. And then it was pretty much back and forth after that, and then the Orioles did build up just enough of a lead there that Wildcats just weren't able to overcome that. So good match, but with room for improvement for the Wildcats. If we can just keep those serving errors out of there, put that pressure, obviously Springville can make mistakes themselves. So we'll see what happens here in game two. Like I said, Wildcats will start with the serve. So let's see if the Wildcats can get off to a fast start and build things up here and maybe get a little cushion and put that pressure on the Orioles. So game one goes to Springville. And we'll get going here in a minute. There comes Springville, they're breaking their huddle. And the Wildcats are coming out here. Coach Clark likes to take sometimes the whole time, just kind of especially when the other team hops out there, kind of make them wait a little bit. And it looks like, I think probably Cammie Ellis will serve first for the Wildcats. She normally is the first server when the Wildcats have the service, and it looks like she's going to be back there. So we have Belle Whitson and, as I mentioned, Cammie Ellis, Coletta Wade, Allie Fritcher, who had a really good first game there early on, and then they kind of didn't go to her towards the end, so we need to think about maybe keeping her in line there. Macy Lupkis is out there and Bailey Weber. So we are ready for game 2. Wildcats down 0-1 games, and they will be serving to start game 2. And we are ready, and here comes Cammie Ellis. She's got a nice little jump serve, and goes at Zaruba. They go to Howard, back to Stamp. Stamp tips it over, and the Wildcats just are having a hard time covering that middle area tonight for some reason. Normally they do a really good job of that, but for some reason we're kind of struggling there in that middle area. So Stamp's going to go back and serve it for the Orioles. Stamp goes at Fritcher. I'm not sure what just happened there, if that was Whitson or Whitson had a bad set or something. I'm not sure, but there's a point. So Wildcats need to clean it up here. Stamp's going to serve. And there's Fritcher. She gets it to Whitson. They're going to go with that. They're going to go with Wade on that weak side. That's what I like to see. Kind of use that weak side, get away from Jacoby, and Wildcats get the point. I think the kill, it would have been a kill, but they called an Oriole in the net. So it's 2-1. Coletta Wade, Zaruba with the pass to Howard, and March plays it, played back over by the Wildcats, and the Orioles are going to come with Breitfelder, and Breitfelder's hit is deep, and it goes out, no touch, and we are tied up 2-2. 2-2, game 2, Wildcats down 0-1, and Coletta Wade goes deep, and that's the first serving error on the night for the Wildcats. We were probably about even in that first game as far as service errors. Zaruba's in there to serve, and it's going to be downballed by Weber. They're going to go outside to Marsh, and Weber was there late for the block and wasn't able to do anything with it, and it's going to drop and be a point for the Orioles. And we've got Ashlyn Zaruba serving, and there's Bailey Weber with the tip. Zaruba's there. It's going to go play at the net. Clark keeps it going. There's Marsh, and then it's going to be misplayed by the Wildcats. It's going to be 5-2. And Ashlyn Zaruba is going to serve again. And they go at Weber. She's going to go to Whitson. They're going to go outside, and you've got Breitfelder and Clark over there. I just really think you need to use that weak side a little bit more. I don't know if there's a way the Wildcats can switch things up a little bit, but 6-2, Orioles are up. And there's a pass. Whitson's going to go in the middle. There's a tip, and that was Weber, and she had to tip that high up and over Clark, and it dropped. So side out Wildcats, 6-3. Avery Weiss is going to check in to serve. And she has a service error. That's 2 serving errors on her tonight. And she's one of the better servers for the Wildcats. So we need that. We can't afford, again, those errors. You can't give a superior opponent those opportunities. So the Wildcats are going to come back at it with Weber with the tip. Then they're going to come back with Breitfelder, and she gets through the block. Whitson and Weber, and we aren't able to slow that one down. And Breitfelder's going to get the kill. And that makes it 8-3 Orioles. And it looks like we've got Hannah March going back to serve for the Orioles. And Allie Fritcher passes it up to Whitson, and then they're going to go to Fritcher. She tips it. Howard's there. Zaruba's going to go back to Howard. Howard with the little kill. Ellis plays it up. Whitson, we're going to come with Fritcher, and the block was there, but it was straight. It went straight up in the air, and it dropped right down. and that's going to be a point for the Wildcats. So 8-4, and Bailey Weber's going to go into the back and be the server for the Wildcats. And there's an ace serve, dropped right on the ground in front of Zaruba. I think she thought it was going to hit the net, because I sure thought it was going to hit the net. And then it just floated right on over, and it dropped right in front of Zaruba. So it's 8-5, and then that's served by Weber, and they're going to have Clark. She down balls it. Wildcats are going to come back with Fritcher, and the tip is there with Howard, the block, and Belle Whitson hits it over. They're going to go back out to Breitfelder, who just tips it over. Weber's waiting. We're going to come back with Fritcher, played up by March, and it's going to come back over with Warrington. A lot of scrappy play going on. Breitfelder with the tip. Wildcats, man, both teams with some scrappy play right there, but unfortunately for the Wildcats, just got out of position too much and weren't able to make the play, so it's going to go point Springville, 9-5, game 2. Springville leads 1-0 over the Wildcats, and we've got Kennedy Breitfelder back here serving. Breitfelder's serve. It's going to be tipped over by Fritcher. Howard just tips it over rather than trying to get a set. Whitson hits it. Howard gets Clark, and Clark gets a quick hit out of the middle and kind of angles it, and 10-5, and Breitfelder will serve again. Breitfelder, the good serve, kept alive by Ellis, comes back over here, and now Howard's going to hit it. There's Ellis. Whitson's going to bump set it to Bailey from the back row. Bailey Weber hits it over. Howard just bumps it, and there's Stamp. And again, Stamp just kind of downballs it, and it just drops in front of our back row. And that's going to be a timeout. 11-5. Orioles are up this game. And I will give a shout out to our sponsor, Heartland Bank. Heartland Bank's a proud supporter of Central City Wildcat sports. At Heartland Bank, we recognize more than ever the need to support local customers and organizations in our communities. As your community bank, we're here for you. And again, we're very appreciative of Heartland Bank in order to allow us to do these broadcasts on the Wildcat Sports Channel. While I have a timeout here, I should mention that the Wildcat football team played in their first-round playoff game last Friday night, and they won. And they will be playing. It's the first win, I think they said, in 19. Or I'm not sure. Quite a few, 9 years maybe, something like that. I can't remember. And they'll be playing again this Friday night, and I'll talk about that a little more here in between the games. We've got Breitfelder serving. And there's Weber, gets it up to Whitson, and now they're going to come out of the back with Fritcher. As Zaruba's there, they're going to come back to Stamp, and Stamp has a hitting error, tries to go around the blockers, and it goes deep. So Wildcats needed that side out after that timeout, so it's 11-6. Wildcats down. Springville leads 1-0. And Allie Fritcher with a great serve, and they're going to back set it. And I don't know if they meant to do that, but it was a back set, and it looked like Clark was going to hit it, but it actually went over the net. So I'm not sure if that was what they meant to do, but it worked, I guess. 12-6, Orioles get it. And there's Bailey Weber. Whitson goes outside to Wade, goes down the line. March is there. They're going to go back outside to Stamp. Weber's there in the back row. Springville's going to come back with it, popped up, and Jacoby's right there at the net to get a miss hit, a miss pass, and it's 13-6. And Lily Clark's going to go back and serve for Springville. She goes at Weber. Whitson's got it. They go outside to Wade, blocked, kept alive by the Wildcats, and then the Orioles down ball it back over. There's the Orioles are going to come back with Stamp. And that's a point, and it's 14-6. And second timeout for the Wildcats. Wildcats are just struggling to find a hole. Springville's doing a really good job of covering. But I started to talk about the Wildcat football team. They made it into the playoffs, and they played last Friday at Tripola, and they won 42-22. So they won by 20 points. It was a great game, tied at halftime. And Wildcats pulled away in the second half. And so now, this Friday, they will be traveling down to Waco. And I'm not really, it's WACO, Waco, so it's some small towns put together. And to be honest, I looked, but I can't remember where the actual school is. I think it starts with a W. But anyway, that's where the Wildcats will be playing. And they'll be kicking off at 7 o'clock. And David Warrington will be calling that game. We would love Wildcat fans to go down and watch and support the Wildcats. But if you can't, make sure you listen on our Wildcat Sports channel. All right, we're out of timeout. It's 14-6. We're in game 2. Wildcats lost the first game by 2. There's Weber. He goes, and now they have Ava Warrington hitting out of the middle, and she's left-handed, and it's blocked. But Wildcats are going to come back with Wade, kept alive by the Orioles. There's Whitson setting outside to Wade, and it tips off the block, but Stamp is there. They're going to go outside to Stamp, and Weber's not able to make the play on that. So there's a kill for the Orioles, and that's 15-6 now. And Clark is serving again from the back row. Weber pops that up, and she hits it right to, passes it right to Jacoby. And that's a kill for Jacoby. Makes it 16-6. Wildcats need to make something happen. Clark with the serve. There's Weber, gets it up to Whitson. Whitson's going to go outside to Wade. And there's Wade. She gets around the block that time and gets a kill deep in the corner. And it's a side out. Wildcats needed that. And so now we got Matt Myers listening in. Glad to know there's one person out there listening. Just talking about the football team coach. And Belle Whitson's going to go back and serve for the Wildcats, and it just gets over the net. And Wildcats had an opportunity, but weren't able to take care of it. So downballed by the Orioles, and the Wildcats just aren't able to take advantage. So it's 17-7 side out for Springville. Nia Howard's going to go back and serve. And she's had 2 serving errors. You probably didn't figure she'd have another one. And there's a miss hit by Warrington. And that makes it 18-7. Howard's going to serve again. Wildcats need to get some kind of a spark going here, at least even if they go down this game, just to carry them over and maybe have a spark to start that game 3. And there's good hustle by Howard. And there's Wade with the hit, but kept alive by the Oriole. And they're going to come back again with Wade. And that time the block off of March and Jacoby, but it went out. So there's what the Wildcats needed. So it's 18-8. We've got Cammie Ellis, one of our better servers, serving here. We need to get a string of some points here together and get our confidence back. Zaruba, and they're going to, there's a block by Weber, and the Wildcats are going to go deep with a tip. And there's Jacoby out of the middle, and there's just no stop. Just Macy Lupkus wasn't able to get there. That's going to be a point, 19-8. And Stamp's going to go back and serve. And we're going to come with Wade out of the weak side. She tips it over, and Breitfelder is going to come out of the strong side, and they're going to say that was a kill, and it's 20-8. And Stamp will be serving for the Orioles. We're going to go quick in the middle, and Orioles are able to just tip it back over. Wildcats come again with a little floater there, kind of. Coletta Wade took a little bit off of that, and that's going to be a point for the Wildcats. It's 20-9. Wildcats need to get something going here just to gain some momentum and at least carry it in and potentially try to get game 3 if we can't get game 2. So there's a good serve, but they're going to go back set to Jacoby, and it goes off of Ellis's arms, and it's going to be a point, 21-9. And it looks like we've got Ashlyn Zaruba with the serve for the Orioles. Coming back with a tip over by Weber. There's a miscommunication. Wildcats will take that. Drops in the middle on Orioles, 21-10. And we've got Avery Weiss checking in and Macy Lupkus checking out. Let's see if Avery can't get hot here and get a couple. There's another serving error by Avery Weiss. That's her 3rd serving error of the night. And she's basically coming in to serve. So that's not good. Not what we needed at that point, 22-10. Now we've got Hannah March for the Orioles. Fritcher gets it up to, and I guess there was no touch. I thought there might be a touch. And they did, okay, they did say there was a touch. They called it out. But there was a touch, so that's a point for the Wildcats. Bailey Weber's going to serve. Pretty good serve. And Nia Howard tried her back set trick, then it actually sets it over and it went out. So there's a point, Wildcats. So it's 22-12. Bailey Weber with another good serve. Zaruba up to Howard. There's a quick hit out of the middle with Clark. Wildcats were able to at least get a touch on that and kind of give themselves a chance to make a play. And this second game, we haven't gotten our blocking to slow the ball down and to try to do some things. So it's 23-12. Breitfelder's going to go back. There's Weber. They're going with Fritcher in the middle. Zaruba's there. Howard's going to go outside to Stamp. Weber's there to play it up. Whitson, they're going to call two hits on Whitson. She's trying to go from one side of the net all the way to the other, and that's a tough set for her. And so it's 24-12. And Breitfelder will be serving for game 2. And there's Allie Fritcher. Allie had a great game in the first game, but not right there. That was a hitting error on Allie. And so that's going to be 25-12. That's going to be game 2. Wildcats need to regroup here, and Springville's going to start with the serve, and Wildcats need to get a side out and need to get something here to get some mojo going. Real quick, I'd like to again talk about Heartland Bank is here to provide the kind of services that keep community in banking. That means working with local businesses to provide funding to help them grow and giving guidance and support when you're ready to purchase your first home. We're here for you. So Wildcats and Orioles had a great first game. Wildcats got up, and then it went back and forth, and the Orioles pulled away right there and were able to win 25-23. Wildcats.
Students and fans, at the request of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, no one is allowed on the playing floor immediately at the conclusion of this game. Please allow the players of both teams and the officials to exit.
So Wildcats got off to a slow start in game 2 and just were never able to recover. And so that game went to the Orioles. All right, so we'll see here what happens. We've got about a minute and a half before the teams come back out of their time, time in between games, and so I've gotten a little more information for Friday night's game. It is going to be in Wayland, Iowa. It'll be Waco High School in Wayland, Iowa, where the Wildcats will be playing their second round playoff game for football. And again, it's Friday, and it is kicking off at 7 o'clock. So like I said, we would love as many Wildcat fans down there as we can get. But if you can't make it down, then we would love for you to listen in on the Wildcat Sports Channel. And as I mentioned, David Warrington will be calling that game live, so you can listen to that. All right, we got 30 seconds here. I see Bailey Weber. They had her over in front of the fan. I didn't see her come out of that last game. I don't know. It's pretty warm in here. It's been hot these last few days, and this gym isn't air conditioned, I don't believe. And so it's pretty stuffy in here. We've got a pretty good sized crowd. So I'm not sure if she's dehydrated or just what's going on, if she's been sick. So they had her in front of the fan. There's a fan over by the doorway, and it looks like she's going to stay out there. So we'll have to keep an eye on Bailey. So Wildcats and the Orioles are back out on the floor. Again, both teams in black uniforms. Orioles have the orange stripe and the orange numbers. Wildcats have red stripes on their top jerseys and red numbers. And we're going to be serve receiving. So I think Nia Howard is going to start. Off serving for the Orioles. So Nia Howard, who has struggled here a little bit tonight, so we'll see, maybe see if she can, if anything happens here. Or Wildcats need a side out. We can't give up a bunch of points here. Wildcats need to get something going here. So Nia with this jump serve goes to right at Weber, and they're going to come right back to Weber, and Weber's going to tip it. Kept alive by the Orioles, and they're going to come back with March. And March hits it into the net, and that's exactly what the Wildcats needed, is a side out right away to start the game. So that puts us up 1-0, and Coletta Wade is going to be serving. So let's see if Coletta can get a couple points here and kind of get us a little gap. There's a great up by Zaruba, and a kill there by I believe that was Jacoby. And she just got it in, so it's 1-1. It's going to go back over to the Orioles, and it's going to be Molly Stamp serving. Springville leads 2-0. There's Weber. They're going to go outside to Fritcher. Fritcher did a great job at the beginning of the first game, and there she goes, gets a point again for the Wildcats. She kind of tipped it across court, and Zaruba wasn't able to make the play. And we've got Avery Wise coming in. Avery needs to get a serve in. She's been struggling and barely gets that one, but we'll take it. And Jacoby gets a hit out of the side, and it looked a little long, but it dropped in. And so that's going to be a point. And 2-2. Side out Springville. Ashlyn Zaruba is going to be serving. And she goes at Fritcher to Whitson and to Weber. And there's a block, and it goes out. So Springville's block was there, but it went out. And it's going to be 3-2. Wildcats up. Going back and forth here, trading points. Wildcats need to get something going. Bailey Weber's going to go back to serve. They pop it up, and they're going to go outside to Breifelder. And there's a whiff by Coletta Wade, and the ball's in, and there's a kill. And it's 3-3. And we've got Hannah March serving. And there's a serving error in the net. We'll take it. And that makes it 4-3. And that Allie Fritcher is going to go back and serve. Senior. Allie's a senior. Cammie Ellis is a senior. And Allie Fritcher serves it in the net. Neither team wants to win this last game, it doesn't look like. Just keep giving the other team points. We've got to take advantage. Wildcats got to mentally be ready here. Now we've got Breifelder back serving. She goes at Weber, gets it up to Whitson. Whitson's going to go outside to Wade. Blocked. Wildcats are going to come back, blocked again. And we're going to go back outside to Wade. She gets it up over the blocks. Passes right back over to the Wildcats. See if we can't do some here. And there's a hit down the line. Oh, and it just, they said they touched it. It went down the line and out, and they said that it was a touch. Howard's over there talking, and he's saying the official's right there, and the block took place right in front of the up official, and he said there was a touch. So we'll take that. That's a point for the Wildcats, and it makes it 5-4. Wildcats are up, and Belle Whitson's going to go back and serve, and we've got Avery Weiss coming out and Macy Lupkus checking in. So we need to get Allie Fritcher going again. She had some great kills in that first game. Macy Lupkus had some great kills, so we need to see what we can do. There's a little tip by Clark, and the Wildcats aren't able to cover that. And so it's 5-5. Clark's going to go back and serve here. We're in game 2. There's Weber, gets it to Whitson. They're going to go outside to Wade. Wade tips it. March is there. And Nia Howard just tips it over and down, and it gets a point. So 6-5 Orioles. And Clark's going to serve again. Clark goes at Wade. And then it's Whitson, and then Lupkus, and right there, Lupkus hits it right into Jacoby. Lupkus is set up in the middle against Jacoby, and Macy's just going to have to figure out, she's got to cut it cross court one way or the other, because she can't just hit it straight on into Jacoby, or it's going to get blocked every time. There's Cami Ellis with the pass, Whitson with the set, comes over, Clark plays it up. They're going to go outside to Stamp. Stamp hits it into the net, so it's 7-6. Wildcats are down by 1. And Bailey Weber must have checked out, and now she's checking in. And I think the Wildcats are out. They're all mixed up. I didn't see Bailey Weber leave the floor, but she did evidently. And now Cami Ellis is checking back in. And Cami Ellis will be serving for the Wildcats. So we need to get these serves in. We need to put the pressure on the Orioles. And there's a good serve. And there's an ace serve by Cami Ellis. Just what the Wildcats needed. 7-7 here in game 3. Wildcats are down 2-0. Have a big uphill battle, but it'd be nice to see if we could get at least one game here. There's Cami Ellis, goes at Breitfelder. And then Nia Howard just tips it over, and it goes off the block and out, so there's a point. So Orioles go back up 8-7. Nia Howard's going to go back to serve. She's struggled a little bit, but she's kind of righted the ship here, and she goes at Ellis. There's Fritcher, and it's just going to be downballed by Wade. Orioles are going to come back with March on the other side. There's a block by Coletta Wade. And a nice single block there, but they said it went out. It must have been just out. And so that's going to be a point. 9-7. Wildcats need a side out right here. There's Fritcher, gets it up to Whitson, and they're going to go with the big out of the middle, but they tip over, and the Orioles are there. Downballed by Zaruba. Fritcher's going to go outside to Wade. Wade tips it over. Covered there by Howard. We're going to come back with March. Ellis pops it up, and then they're going to say 2 hits on Belle Whitson. Whitson's doing something that they don't like, because that's about their second or third 2-hit call on her, so she needs to figure that out. Nia Howard comes back with the serve. Fritcher to Whitson. They're going out of the middle there, and there's a big arm swing. Hits into the block. Coletta Wade uses it, and it falls on the Orioles side. And that makes it 10-8, and Wildcats are down 10-8. This is game 3. Coletta Wade with the serve. Zaruba, they're going to go outside to March. Ellis is there, gets it up to Whitson. Whitson goes to Fritcher. There's Fritcher. Fritcher did a great job of getting some kills in the first game, struggling here a little bit. That one was just deep and out a little wide. And so that's going to be a side out, 11-8. And Stamp is going to serve. There's Weber. And they're going to go Weber quick, and Weber's just tipping. Weber really can't do much out of the middle except tip it right now. She's got Jacoby and March right there in the middle. Avery Weiss is checking in, and Macy Lupkus is checking out, and Avery's going to be serving again, freshman. And there's a good serve. Stamp plays it. They're going to go outside to Breitfelder, and that's about her best hit of the game. She put that one down. No blockers over there. We were slow to get over and block. 12-9. And Zaruba's going to serve. Cami Ellis gets it to Whitson, who tips it over. Zaruba bumps it for Breitfelder, and the block's there. We keep it up and go at it, and Weber tips it. Played up by Zaruba. Howard tips it over, and they called 2 hits on her finally. They call that on her. They've called that on us several times. We'll take that. All right, Ava Warrington's in the front. Cami Ellis checks out. Bailey Weber rotates back to serve. It's 12-10. Springville's up, and they're going to go outside. Nobody's out there, so Zaruba just free balls it. And now we're going to come back with Fritcher, and Fritcher tries to go down the line, and I think, yep, 4 hits there. Fritcher's just got to get her timing back. Her timing's off a little bit here this third game. So 13-10. Hannah March is going to serve. She goes at Ellis. And there's going to be a point, a block at the net there. And it's going to be a point, Springville. March is going to serve again. And there's an ace serve, and probably a timeout here, I'd imagine. Maybe not. 15-10. Seems like the momentum's swinging a little bit over here towards the Orioles, but no timeout. March is going to serve again. She comes back with a floater. There's going to be 2 aces in a row. Now she's going to call a timeout. 16-10. We're in game 3. Wildcats are down 2-0. At Heartland Bank, the strength of our bank lies in the relationships that give meaning to our work. At all times, we remain focused on what we do best, operating as a dependable community bank and delivering on our personal service commitment. Go Central City Wildcats. So Wildcats are hanging there tight there at the beginning, but now it's 16-10. And so right now, out of this timeout, Wildcats need to get a side out, and you need to put something together where we can get some hits or try to get some kills. So we've got 16-10. We're in game 3. Wildcats are down 2-0. Orioles are serving here. We just about out of this timeout. Hannah March with the serve for the Orioles. Again, it's 16-10. Wildcats need the side out. Need to put something together here. There's a good serve. Ellis gets it up. Whitson tracks it down, and we're going to go with a tip with Wade. And we're going to go with Breitfelder with the kill. Weber's there. They're going to play it at the net, and they're going to say Belle Whitson was in the net. And that, yes, Belle Whitson was in the net, I believe. And it's going to be a point Orioles, 17-10. Hannah March will serve again. She goes at Ellis. Ellis to Whitson, and they try to do something there with Fritcher, and there was missed timing. Fritcher thought it was going to be something quick. And actually, they're going to say that I think Clark or Breitfelder were in the net. So Wildcats catch a break there. 17-11, we'll take that point. And Allie Fritcher's going to go back to serve. Maybe that's the momentum thing we needed. Breitfelder's there, kept alive, but it was kept up by the block, but Whitson couldn't do anything with it, so the ball goes right back over to the Orioles, and Breitfelder's going to rotate back and serve, and it is 18-11, Orioles up. Bailey Weber with the pass. It goes right over to the Orioles, and Clark's there in the middle. Wildcats can't do anything with the quick hit out of the middle there. 19-11. Brightfelder with the serve. There's a nice hit by Wade, kept alive by the Orioles. It comes right back. Let's see if the Wildcats, and they're going to go right back to Wade, and she goes again. Kept alive by Brightfelder. Wildcats are going to go outside to Wade again, and this time, third time's a charm. Coletta gets the kill. She wasn't going to be denied on that third time, so there's 19-12. Bill Whitson's going to go back and serve, and let's see if Bell can put a string of serves here together for the Wildcats. There's a nice serve, and there's an ace, just what we needed. 19-13, Wildcats down, game 3, and let's see if Bell can't do that again. Couple ace serves here. She goes at Brightfelder, they get it, they're gonna go outside to Stamp. Stamp is out, and it's no touch. I thought it was touched, but I'm way back over here in the corner, so I can't tell. And that's good that I'm wrong, because that ball went out, and it's 19-14. Wildcats on a little run here. There's Bell Whitson, Zaruba to Howard. They're gonna back set it to Clark. She bumps it over, kept up by Fritcher. Whitson's just pushing it up there at the net. Blocked by the Orioles. Wildcats will try it again. Here's Allie Fritcher with the tip. Zaruba to Howard. Quick hit by Clark, but Weber keeps it alive. Wildcats are going to come back with Whitson. Howard goes outside to Stamp, blocked again by Lupkus. Macy hits it over, keeps it alive. We're going to come back to Stamp again, and there's Macy with another block, but Macy tipped it up, but we just weren't able to make the play in the back row to keep it alive. Good volley there by both teams. A lot of scrappy play. 20-14, point goes to Springville, and Clark's going to go back to serve. Clark is it's passed up by Weber. They're going to go with Lupkus in the middle, and she plays it off the block, and they're going to come back with Jacoby. Wildcats are there, and here comes Wade. She gets it through the block, but Clark passes it up. There's Stamp. Our blockers keep it alive, but the Wildcats just aren't able to do anything on that second hit off of the block. We got the block, and she kind of popped it up, but we just weren't able to take advantage of that. And it makes it 21-14. Clark's going to serve again. And there's Fritcher, goes to Whitson. Whitson's going to go outside to Wade, and they're going to say March didn't carry it. I thought that looked like a bad hit, but anyway, play on. And there's a tip by Howard, and Howard gets the point. Wildcats just a little out of position and aren't able to make the play. We've got 22-14, timeout, Wildcats. Heartland Bank, tell your friends, family, and coworkers about Heartland Bank, and when they open a checking account with us, you'll both receive a special thank you gift. Referring online or on your mobile device is easy. Heartland Bank, a proud supporter of Central City Wildcats. All right. So it seems like Wildcats get some momentum going. Tonight it just seems like the Orioles are just, their outstretched arms just popping the ball back up seems to keep the ball in play versus our outstretched arms. We're not able to keep it in play. It looks like Allie Fritcher's struggling there a little bit. It is very warm in here, and some of these girls might be getting a little dehydrated. So anyway, we got 22-14. Wildcats need a side out, need to put something together here. We'll see what happens with Clark serving for the Orioles. She goes at Weber. Whitson's going to go outside to Wade, and there's Wade, and there we go. That's what we needed. Got it around the blockers, and it got down, and Clark wasn't able to make a play on it. So we're going to go ahead, and we've got 22-15. We've got Cammie Ellis. See if Cammie could put some things. There it is. Nice serve. They're going to just, Molly Stamp's going to get it. God, Molly Stamp hit, hits the net and just trickles over, and it's going to be a point. The ball's just falling Springville's way tonight. Wildcats can't really catch a break. 23-15. Nia Howard's going back to serve. Howard with the jump serve. Played up. Goes outside to Weber. Weber's good arm swing. Goes over the blocks, and Nia Howard reaches back and can't do anything with it. So that's a side out. We're Wildcats hanging tight here, 23-16. Let's see if Coletta, there's Zaruba. This is going to be free balled over. Wildcats need to use this. Weber gets it. Whitson back to Weber, and it's blocked, but the blockers are too far off the net, and the block goes down, and so there's a point. Wildcats fighting here on this last game, 23-17. Coletta Wade, played up by Zaruba. Howard goes back to Stamp and Stamps out. It's a hitting error. They went to that weak side with Molly Stamp, and she hits it out. 23-18. Here come the Wildcats. Putting the pressure back on the Orioles. Zaruba passes it up to Howard. They're going quick to Jacoby. Blocks Ken to keep the ball alive. Wildcats are going to go to Fritcher. Fritcher tips it. Howard to Zaruba, and they're going to go with Stamp again. Stamp takes a little bit off. Whitson to Weber, and Weber gets it over the top and down. Weber's had some success out of the middle when there's Jacoby and March in the middle, and she's been able to go up over them, and the back row is deep, expecting her to hit. We've gotten some points, so 23-19. Wildcats aren't laying down here. Zaruba gets it up to Howard. Howard's going back to Stamp. Stamp this time gets the kill. Wildcats just weren't able to get a block over there quick enough. So it's 24-19. No room for any mistakes. I don't know, there was some candy or something on the floor there. So Molly Stamp's going to be serving for the Orioles. Wildcats need to get a point here side out, obviously, to keep this match going. Stamp goes at Weber. She gets it to Whitson, and there's a tip over by Weber. And then they're going to go back to Breitfelder. They keep it alive, and Wildcats aren't able to make a play. And it's 25-19, game 3. So that is going to bring an end to the season for the Wildcats. They really played well games 1 and 3. Games 2, they struggled a little bit, but still respectable showing tonight by the Wildcats against Springville, who I think is either rated 1 or 2 in Class 1A. I just want to give a shout out to the 3 seniors, Cammie Ellis Senior, Bella Dam Senior, and Allie Fritcher were the 3 seniors for the Wildcats, so we just want to give them a shout out and let them know how much we appreciate all that they've done for Central City volleyball program. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight on the Wildcat Sports Channel. The Central City loses 3-0 to Springville. Game 1 was 25-23 Springville, then game 2 25-12, and then game 3 25-19. So we just want to congratulate the Wildcats on a great season and thank those 3 seniors, and look forward to next year to some of the younger kids coming up and continuing with the success of the volleyball program. As I mentioned, our next Wildcat Sports broadcast is going to be Friday night as the Wildcat football team travels down to Wayland, Iowa to take on Waco in the second round of the 8-man playoffs. And the kickoff will be at 7 o'clock, and David Warrington will have the call for that game if you can't make it down there. Make sure you listen, but we would love to have everybody down there tonight. So once again, congratulations to Wildcats. They ended their season 20-13. Had a really nice season, and thanks again to those 3 seniors. So I'm Cindy McCarthy, and I want to just thank everybody for listening to tonight's broadcast. Go Cats!